It's been a while since I have made a vid for you. Yo dudes and dudettes, your friendly neighborhood Jaxblade is back, and I just had to take a little time off for a bit after I had like a little vacation. You know, some stress issues were going on, and also I was just extremely busy with work outside of YouTube stuff, and I just wanted to get back into it. And just stress is BS stuff, but I wanted to come back with this video, and I'm working on a few other videos coming. I just started script writing again, so that was really fun, and so I'm like, this is good. It's good to see y'all again. Hope you've been doing good. Alright, Jeremy, so you've been putting on weight. Melissa, good to see you going. Alright, Mike, looking good, my friend. How y'all doing today? Alright, so anyways, let's talk about something that everyone is just talking about globally right now. Freaking Avengers Endgame. And for those people watching this video who haven't seen Avengers Endgame yet, I'm not going to talk about spoilers until a certain part, because I feel like I can't talk about this movie fully without spoilers. So I will give you a very, very clear warning when I talk about spoilers. Alright? I'm just giving you a heads up right now. But for right now, I want to just talk about like the MCU in general and like what I think is done so well that last like freaking decade plus that I just think it's just been doing so goddamn well with. So let's just get right into it. It's crazy to me that like this series that I really didn't think was going to take off this well has blown up to this worldwide thing. Because I remember, like, for me personally, I remember watching like Iron Man back in 2008, and all these people didn't know who Iron Man was, but I knew because like as a kid I grew up watching the 90s cartoon, you know, the I am Iron Man, you know, that show. I loved that show growing up. Well, actually the show doesn't hold up as well, but like I watched all those 90s Spider-Man shows, all those classic Marvel cartoons, so like I already had a good grasp of them. And also I just read comic books religiously as a kid, so the fact that they were able to take this hero that was, you know, only known to like comic book people and make him like this mainstream hero is such a great thing. Because prior to Avengers Endgame, I rewatched every single MCU film prior to this movie just because I wanted to do a thing. And I was actually live tweeting it. If you follow me on my Twitter at Jaxblade Fitness, I started live tweeting part of it, but then some spoilers for Endgame got leaked, so like I stopped doing it because, you know, there are a bunch of a-holes on Twitter who get the almighty banhammer. So that's why I just made sure to stop doing it. But after like a week, I'll probably like finish up doing it because I got to the first half and then I stopped doing it. But yeah, I rewatched every single one of them, and so far, like, my top 5 for the longest time were definitely Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie, Winter Soldier, Spider-Man Homecoming, because I'm a Spider-Man geek, that's my thing, I love it, Thor Ragnarok, and then it was an Infinity War. Like, I really love those movies. Like, there was never a movie I straight up hated. The only one I really hate is Iron Man 3, and I will watch Iron Man 2 50 times over Iron Man 3 any day because I rewatched all of them, and at least Iron Man 2 had the badass war machine scene. God, you know, that's just another tangent. But I just want to say, all these movies, I generally do appreciate that they built up something that when you go into Avengers Endgame, it's like, wow, they reference everything. They reference literally every one of those movies. Like, because remember, I was telling people prior to this, just like, oh well, if you watch one of those catch-up videos, you know, you should be pretty good and stuff like that. But there are like little things that they reference in Avengers Endgame. That's not a spoiler, it's just like there are little things that they mention, and it's like, oh shit, well, I'm glad I watched all these prior because now I understand what that little thing is right there. That's like so great. But I think the movie series so far is just, it's incredible how you're able to take all these characters like freaking Thor. How many people knew who Thor was before the MCU came out? Barely anyone. How many people thought Captain America was this lame freaking hero for the MCU? How many people thought like, what was it? They didn't know about the Guardians of the Galaxy or Groot or anything like that. So it's just, I love and really appreciate what they've done. They've made these comic book movies come to life. Now, I know some people will argue that there are certain aspects where they go, and that's not like the comic books. They changed it too much, and they did it too much. You know, like for instance, Ultron only in name only is not like anything like comic Ultron. It's just, you know, you'll take some L's along the way, but for the most part I think they did a great job. So that brings me to Avengers Endgame. And Avengers Endgame, I'm not going to talk about any spoilers for this first part, okay? I'm just going to talk about my general thoughts of the movie, what I think of the plot, and then I'll give you a very clear warning when I get to the spoilers. But for that, let's talk about this. Going into Endgame, I literally watched no trailers because I don't know what it is, like people are obsessed with trailers these days, and the trailers these days, even though when I went back and rewatched these ones, they always show so much of the movie. Like, there's some movie trailers I will just leave the theater or like cover my ears, like I don't want to watch them, because like throughout the years I've just been burned so many times by trailers pretty much spoiling all the good parts of the movie, and I just don't want to see that anymore. So I remember when I did it for Infinity War, I only watched the first trailer, then I watched nothing else afterwards, and I went to Infinity War fresh, and it was like a freaking great experience. For this one, I watched no trailers. I just went into this completely fresh. Like I was saying when Avengers Endgame was coming out, you literally don't need a trailer. All you need is like some dust and some dates. But then going back and rewatching trailers, they barely show anything. It's a 3-hour movie and they show only stuff from like first 15 minutes. I mean, some stuff, but there's nothing like really that's gonna spoil anything or give anything away. So I gotta commend them for that. And I had absolutely no idea how this movie was gonna play out. Like, there are certain plot points I was like, that was over relatively fast, or that is like, we're spending a lot of time on this, oh that's the direction we'll take in the plot of this movie. And I was like, huh, that's rather interesting that they're doing this. But for the most part, it didn't feel like, oh wow, this is like coming out of left field or something like that. If you've read the comics or you just, you know, you've watched any of the cartoon series, it was just a very interesting thing. I love that the character dynamics, like we get to see the characters actually interact with each other, not just like, oh, we're superheroes all the time, let's talk as people. Like, they have a very dramatic thing happen to them where they're like, oh, well, this is so traumatizing, how would people actually deal with this? And the way it deals with it is just like very natural, and I gotta respect that. And then the movie is just so well done in a lot of aspects. There are some criticisms I do have because I came down from my hype brain, because there is one scene that I will go into detail on when we get to the spoiler part, but all I'll say is this, man, y'all gonna scream. Y'all gonna just scream. That shit was... That's all I gotta say. It was like so cool. Like, there were certain things that they did with characters I was just like, oh yes, just yes. But then there are some certain characters I was just a bit like, oh man, I sort of wanted you to do a bit more, but they didn't do that route. And I thought overall it was like a pretty damn good movie. I thought overall it was a pretty damn good movie. Like, you could watch it any time of day. Just like, if it's on, like, I'm gonna just watch what I can from it, because it's just so well done. There's just so many throwbacks to the past movies. Overall, I just thought it was so incredibly well done for the most part. And again, like, you're gonna see it regardless because it's just a great film. But again, I do suggest like at least watching a catch-up video or trying to watch like a bunch of MCU films before going into it, because by watching all the MCU films prior, and it's like 20 movies, and I guess it was like if you watch like 2 or 3 a day, like you could probably do this really fast, like in a week or something like that. But it was such a satisfying experience to go into that movie after seeing all of them back to back, because then there are just certain little scenes you pick up on and you're like, oh, I appreciate that. But again, I highly recommend it. And now I can't really talk about in depth, so I'm just gonna talk about the spoilers now. So 5, I'm giving you a hint, go 4, turn off the freaking PC, all right, come on, 2, 3, I don't know, I'm losing count. I've been so stressed, I've been losing count, oh my god. 2, that just bought you some time, me like miscounting my numbers. 1, alright, spoilers, alright, here we go. That fucking fight scene at the end, oh my god! Oh my god! Literally everyone back, bodying fucking Thanos' armies. It was the dopest fucking thing I've ever fucking seen. I remember I was at D-Box, right? And me and my friend Z were watching the movie, and like you just see fucking T'Challa come out, because they brought people back to life, and like Hulk was the one who did the snap, and they like all of them just start blasting and fighting each other, and they just like go at it with each other, and you see like Iron Woman and people you don't think, and all the freaking Asgardians and freaking Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and Black Panther. It was just so dope. The Guardians of the fucking Galaxy. It was so dope. Oh my god, it was so raw. I cannot express how much joy I felt. I was screaming. Like, that was the scene where I was like, oh my god. I like when fucking Thanos is just like coming down to fight all of them, and then he's trying to just knock through all these people, and Scarlet Witch just fucks his shit up. Or like freaking when what was there? Freaking Captain Marvel. I know people are mixed up Captain Marvel. You know, honestly, I like Carol Danvers. Like, I don't mind her. Like, I thought her movie was okay. It wasn't anything like mind-blowing to me. But I thought like in this movie when she showed up, because she's barely in the movie, she's rarely ever in the movie, but like when she shows up, it just like, it's just so OP. She's just blasted through fucking shit, and Thanos tries to like give her a headbutt and she just eats it and just stares at him like, yeah bitch, and he has to pull out the Power Stone layer. I was just screaming, bro. I was so hyped in this movie. I thought the movie was doing so much greatness in that scene. I was just losing my shit. It was a biz. You know what would have made it perfect to me though? If this would make the scene perfect, because first off, that Avengers theme is just iconic at this point. Like when they play that shit, oh my god, like you will like literally cream yourself when they play that stuff. But when they just are all fighting together and like freaking Captain America says like, Avengers assemble. He fucking Cap uses Mjolnir, and like I know like people who've ever seen the movie, we're on spoiler talk, so it doesn't matter like if I'm all out of hand, but like, oh my god, that shit was raw as fuck, because he just like beat the shit out of Thanos. I thought like, oh shit, he's gonna die. I kept thinking there were times like, oh shit, he's gonna get impaled, oh shit, he's gonna stab, or something like that was gonna happen, but when it just went off, oh my god, it was beautiful. And then everyone charging together. Now, this would have made it perfect to me. For those of you who remember Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, is one of the top 5 greatest Marvel cartoons of all time, along with Spectacular Spider-Man, the X-Men Evolution. If you watch X-Men Evolution, surprisingly holds up a lot. I rewatched it recently. Was there Spider-Man 90s cartoon, X-Men 90s cartoon, and then what else? I mean, Wolverine X-Men is pretty good too, but like Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the intro to Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes fight is the song. It is so hype, and if they played that, like, I would not be here right now if that song had played in the theater when they were like fighting together while I was in D-Box, like, the hype would have like overloaded my systems, and I would have just like been gone, because that song, it just makes you so hyped. I cannot wait for the Blu-ray to come out this, or digital HD, and someone just overlap that song over that fight, like, always we will fight as one, and they're just like fucking like blasting each other. Oh my god, it would be so hype. I love that. I love that entire scene. That entire scene was just magnificent. The whole scene where Captain America stands alone against Thanos and his armies, that is like wallpaper, iconic, legendary material. I thought that was just fucking godly. I could not. Oh my god, that was just like one of the things where I just lost my shit. I lost all of my shit. The one thing that did take it down for me though is during the movie, Hulk is, you know, in that Professor Hulk mode where he's like, I fused Bruce Banner's brain with the Hulk's might, and I really wanted him to have like a moment where he's just like, no, I am the monster. I am the rage beast. I will take control. And then like he just loses his shit, and like he goes World Breaker Hulk, and he just like snaps, and he's just like, and just breaks shit, and like he just heals his arm and shit. Oh my god, that would make it so much more hype to me, because like him fighting, it was cool to see Hulk fight, but I really wanted him just to lose his shit and like world break. And I know it's a trope, I know it's cliche, but that would have been fucking epic. Fucking epic if they did that, but they didn't, and that's one little thing. I'm like, oh, okay, but I mean, it's Disney, they had unlimited budget, so maybe they could put like a bonus scene of that in a DVD or extended edition. I would not mind an extended edition of that fight scene where they made the characters do more. That was fucking beautiful. And now my overall cons. I mean, like, I will say this, I think the time travel aspect was interesting, but I'm always like sketchy with time travel. They even make a joke about the time travel stuff in the movie, and they even have like a great joke about like, why don't we go back to when Thanos was a baby, and you know, and that scene cracked me up. It was just funny. It was horrible, but it cracked me up. And I think the time travel stuff, it was, see, the thing with time travel is like when you start coming down from cloud 9 of that hype overload, because like hype overload just like, it blinds you. It makes you just go like, oh, I don't care about anything anymore. Like this has happened to literally everyone. Like you'll watch a show of something you love. They do something like so freaking godly that you just like, you lose all ration and reasoning. Like for me, a movie that does that is like Jurassic World. Like, I don't care for Jurassic World, the movie, but at the end when the T-Rex and the Raptor team up to fight the fucking bad Raptor Rex, whatever, like that shit was just so hyped to me. Then made me go, oh yeah, it made me forget that the rest of the movie was sort of meh. So that always happens to people. Like, hell, like people did that with the Korrasami ending of Legend of Korra, you know, stuff like that. Like, people like had hype brain for it, but then they like said, oh well, where was other people, you know, stuff like that. I think for the most part what they did with the time travel was fine, but then if you overthink it too much, there's a lot of questions. Like, for instance, at the end, it's just like, oh, Cap is sitting by himself there, and it's like, oh, he put all the Infinity Stones back, but and he's happy. But it's like, did you help fight with the Avengers during a certain time then? Like, when they had to fight New York, did the Winter Soldier stuff happen? Like, how did those play out? Like, did the Civil War, all these certain, you know, there's certain like questions. You'll just start going down a rabbit hole of like, okay, this, but then I know they say, well, time is like, because Hulk explains time in a linear way, because they have this whole great scene of like, they talk about Terminator and Back to the Future and Hot Tub Time Machine, and they would like talk about like the specifics of like, oh, you can't mess with time travel. And then the Ancient One from Doctor Strange, who's in the movie, also talks about like, well, you know, if you have time this way, oh, like, if I give it to you here, time will branch off. But then Hulk was like, well, I'll go back to the exact time, so for you it will literally be an instant of me going away. And I thought that was a pretty cool take, but there are just a lot of questions I have on the time travel stuff, and there were certain parts in the middle that made me like so overly anxious, but I guess that's a good thing. Like the whole scene with Nebula and her eye like giving away that, oh, she's in the past and she's going to betray him. Like, I honestly thought Thanos was gonna, you know, kill her, and I was just like, no, please don't. Like, Nebula, she's come so far, please don't hurt her. And then when fucking Thanos, she ends up killing herself. Like, it's just that was a brutal thing, but it was touching. And then like, there's certain questions I have, like for the Soul Stone thing. Like, freaking Nebula told them about the Soul Stone, and then like how you have to sacrifice someone to get it. And I don't know, like I feel like if they had a plan, I don't know, like the whole thing with like Natasha sacrificing herself, I feel they could have, because like they've announced that there's a Black Widow movie coming out, but I don't know how they're gonna go about it. It might be a prequel, might be something else, but it's just I don't know. I don't know. Like, there's certain, that's why I hate the time travel thing. I don't hate, you know, let me take it back. I don't hate it, but there are just so many aspects where I go, oh, well, I really would have preferred if this had happened instead of this happening here, or certain things, because I had no idea they were going to do a time heist film. But yeah, I think that was my like only criticism, is just like there's certain points where I go like, well, if you did this with the time travel here, then how would, you know, there's just certain things like that. That is like my only little issue that I would just go, ah, well, that's it. But like, that is so minuscule compared to everything else great that the film does. Though again, certain things with like Hulk being the way he is now, like I did want him to have that, you know, rage moment where he's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna lose my shit and just like unleash all my power. Thor, I was wondering about Thor, because like, you know how Thor in the last movie, he basically, once he got Stormbreaker, owned Thanos, like he just threw it through his beam. And then like in this movie, since he took his past hammer and now had Stormbreaker, so we had Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, it's like, so you should be like fucking Thanos up doubly. But I guess because he did get fat, and that was hysterical to me, how Thor was like this freaking Fortnite player or something like that. He's just like, listen here, child, I will call your parents. And I loved it. I cracked up at that scene. That was beautiful. Who else? What else is there? I love what they did with Ant-Man. I think everything with Ant-Man was great. Everything with Steve Rogers and Natasha, like, is always great in my opinion. Let's see, Thor, Captain Marvel. I was a bit, I mean, I guess it makes sense, because she was talking about like how not other planets have Avengers, so she has to go and do other things, but she's barely in the movie, and I sort of hoped for her to be a bit more into it, and because I know a lot of people are still mixed on her, though I think it's more like nerds upset at Brie Larson or something like that. But yeah, I didn't mind her in the movie when she was on. Oop, time travel really quickly, because I noticed this when I was editing. I didn't talk about something that's really important, which had like a big effect on me at the end of the movie, and that is Tony's death. I really have to like stress that Tony's death was really well done in my opinion. Like, I was bawling like my eyes, I was crying like hard, because like literally when you rewatch all of these movies back to back and you see just this character grow for the last 10 years and that they gave him this ending this way, I thought it was just so powerful. Like the way he went out and the way he said, "I am Iron Man." Like that little thing right there, it was so powerful to me. Like, Robert Downey Jr. did such phenomenal work with this character. Just when you hear the story of like how he had to go through his life and like how Tony like mirrored various things with his actual drug addiction and stuff like that. I think it's just so powerful to see this character grow. We follow this character and then just see everything that happened to him. Like, it just is something like that that I can't believe it slipped my mind while I was talking about it. Like, it's just various things. I just wanted to bring that up. And then the whole thing with, you know, Captain America coming back as an old man and then giving Sam his shield, and it's gonna be like, oh, Falcon is now Captain America, like the comic books. I thought that was like really great. But yeah, I really wanted to bring that in here. I was editing my thing and I just noticed it when I was rendering that, oh shit, I didn't talk about Tony's death at all, and I was just like, that is just the stupidest brain fart ever. But yeah, it was so powerful. It really hit in the chords when you follow a character that long and you see what happens to them. Like, it just was so powerful to me, and I'm so glad he was the one who got the final hit. Like, it's very poetic that like he was the one who got the final hit when he was the one who started the MCU off, and then he's ending it right there with that. And again, I just think that was just a powerful thing. I felt so many emotions. Me and my boy were crying. People were doing that little thing in the theaters and stuff like that, so you would hear that. And yeah, it was really powerful, and I can't believe I almost forgot to talk about it. So what the fuck. But yeah, back to our regularly scheduled thing. Captain America, by the way, that age makeup on Captain America, just absolutely brilliant, and I'm so happy that he finally got to get with Peggy Carter. Like, Peggy Carter and him was just OTP from the beginning, so that paid off tremendously. Also, the thing with Hawkeye as Ronin. I loved Hawkeye as Ronin. I think that was phenomenal as well. I loved everything with you know, Black Widow as a character. I still feel like they killed her off too fast, and everyone else, Thor, great, all that. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything, but I'll probably reiterate and repeat over and over again. But yeah, I just wanted to say that really quickly. Yeah, I can't believe it slipped my mind, but I just want to do that, and you know, back to the video. But honestly, I think that movie was just like so good. I feel like that just, if the time travel stuff was a bit cleaner cut and there were certain things, I would appreciate it more, because like right now I still sort of like Infinity War a bit more than I do this, but I really did enjoy this. And then Thanos did sort of go from being like I guess, I don't know, he went more super villainous than more like tragic. I gotta do this and I'm gonna enjoy killing everything and on your planet and stuff like that. So that was a bit interesting. But right now I'm just like, what comes next? Because this was like the ultimate feast. Because I know Spider-Man Far From Home takes place after this, and I feel bad for the movie because I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. But again, it's just like, you are following fucking this epic. Like, if Marvel decided right now that they were like, you know, guys, we're gonna take a good old break. We won. And it's just like, you take that break, you won. And I know people say, but what about X-Men and Fantastic Four? It's just like, guys, like, if honestly, at the end of this movie, I was like so hyped, where I was just like, yeah, you know what? You deserve a break. You won. If this was like the finale, like they decided, hey guys, we're not making any more Marvel films after this, I'd honestly be happy. I honestly would be happy. I would not be upset at all, because the thing is, there's a thing called spectacle fatigue, where you see all this greatness at once, and then it's like, it feeds you and it satiates you. You feel like full afterwards, and you're like, yeah, this was a great movie. But then like after that satiate feel, it's just like, if you keep getting the stuff over and over again, you start getting full. Like, I was talking to a friend about this, and it was like, so after phase 3 ends and they go on to, you know, phase 4, and if they try to build up to something else, are you ready for that? And then they were sort of like, nah, I need like a good break for a while, because it's just, that is so true. If you like gave people this epic that took literally 10 plus years to build up to, and then you conclude it in such a just magnificent way, in my opinion, that it's like, yeah, I would definitely want a break. Like, I think this is a lot of people have this issue where they just don't want to let something go, or they just have to keep getting it over and over again. They need that stimulus, they need that hit, man, they need that hit. But it's just like, no, it's okay to take a break. That makes you appreciate stuff even more when it comes back. So that's my honest opinion of that. Like, I honestly don't know what comes next from this. Like, it's just, that was such a great finale in my opinion, and I know what they're doing with like the TV shows, the spin-offs and stuff like that. So like, those are just like little appetizers, because it's just like, all right, here's your main feast, and if you want some, here's some you know, hors d'oeuvres for you. You can just take these at your leisure, all right? You don't have to eat the big thing all at once anymore. You're like, here's some hors d'oeuvres for you, you know, hors d'oeuvres, or what, I can't say hors d'oeuvres right. And this, and I'm sorry, DC, I know you're trying, and I know like people are like hit or miss, huh, on freaking various of the movies that have come out. Like, you know, Shazam, most people loved. Aquaman was mixed. People have been mixed so far, and then they got Joker coming out. But, excuse me, it's still sad to me that DC, if they had did it properly, could have had the jump on Marvel with the cinematic universe, because remember, Batman Begins and Superman Returns came out the same year. If Superman Returns was as great a movie as like Dark Knight Rises, or I mean not Dark Knight Rises, the freaking Dark Knight Rises was kind of meh. If it was just as great as one of those, then that would have been like a whole different deal, because I know they said like, oh, we had no plans to cross them over. Bullshit. If that movie was actually legitimately great, you know damn well they would have like had a crossover, and then they would have had like this whole thing, and they could have had the jump on Marvel by 3 years for it. And the thing to me is, DC, you have the perfect blueprint for a Justice League movie, because it's such a shame. Like, I remember back in the day, there was this thing like, oh, Avengers is the highest grossing film of all time. Just wait till there's a Justice League movie, and it's just, how'd that turn out for you? And I'm not trying to do this at DC, because I really do love DC. Like, DC produces some of my favorite animated series of all time. Like, they are gods when it comes to animation, where Marvel fails these days. But it's just like, you have a perfect blueprint. Superman Taz, Superman the animated series. That right there could be any Superman movie. Just take a couple episodes and make a Superman movie. Batman the animated series. So many Batman movies you can make from that. Freaking Justice League. You could build up to Justice League. There are so many ways you could go about it. Like, hell, if DC wanted to honestly do like a thing where it's like, all right, the MCU ended here, quote unquote ended, even though we know it's coming back, and they decided to go, all right, let's like restart ourselves up, let's rebuild everything up. I think that would have been fan-fucking-tastic, because it's just like, yeah, but and they're trying that, they're trying like their slow reboot with characters, but man, you know, multiverse theory, I guess. It was one of those movies I was just super hyped for this year. Like, honestly, I had like some shit where I was just like, I gotta make sure I live to see this movie, because I just need to see how it ends, and I was just so hyped. I was so, it like blew me away. The other things I'm hyped for this year, you know, of course, my Don Bruno and Kiro Matero girls. Like, I'm so fucking for that show. I got so many videos planned for that series. I'm so excited. Freaking, I guess Star Wars, I will go see it because I'm just really interested, but after Last Jedi, like after rewatching, I'm just on the Star Wars series. I just want to see how they finish this off. What else is there? I guess Chapter 2 and Child's Play, and Toy Story 4 is one of those, like, you really don't need to be existing, because Toy Story 3 was just a phenomenal finish to a series. But alright, I'll go see you. But Frozen 2, I guess. I mean, there's not much I'm hyped for this year, but yeah, just, I mean, once Don Baruch, oh, Godzilla King of Monsters, because I've loved Godzilla since I was a kid. I'm super hyped for Godzilla King of Monsters, so that's gonna be great. Yeah, but that's all I gotta say for this. So, dudes and dudettes, leave a comment down below. Tell me, what did you think of Avengers Endgame? Do you think it was a great ending? Did you think it was a horrible ending? Leave your comment down below. Let's get a discussion going. Be sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. And sorry if I've been going away too long, but like, you know, this is just me coming back, and just a lot of personal issues. And to me, I want to focus on my mental health. I don't want to be like some person who has like these mental breakdowns or something like that. if they, you know, keep trying to upload and force something. Like I always say, quality over quantity, so that's why I try to, you know, take my time and focus on making quality stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, sticking with me, those of you who watched all the way to the end. If you watched all the way to the end, hit me with that Opie Hammer. Like, let me see that hashtag Opie Hammer if you stuck with me to the end, because those are ones of you that I really appreciate, and you're the ones that I just gotta say, I love you. Love you to death. Like, you keep me coming back to this channel and doing this stuff, because I know this video probably isn't gonna get like a lot of views compared to my other stuff, because people sort of have me on this one note, oh, you're the Tough Like Dudes guy, oh, you're the that workout guy, I don't care about anything else you do, just do those two things. And it's just like, I want to, you know, it's fun to do other stuff instead of getting wrapped into a box. So thank you. So let me know who stuck with me, Opie Hammer, down in the comment section below, because you ones are the real OGs and you're the ones that I really love and respect. So thank you all so much for sticking with me. And remember, like I always say, keep calm, booyah on, and don't forget, moment tie. Got a ton of content coming and I hope you enjoy it. So peace out, my friends.